The Antarctic Tundra by Tom Sullivan. Antarctica covers 1/12 of the world and was one of the largest pristine places that has had minimal human contact or intervention. The Antarctic tundra ranges in temperatures of 10 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit. More specifically, during the winter, it is -30 to -60 degrees Fahrenheit, and during short summer, temperatures can get up to 35 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. The Arctic tundra gets less than 25 centimeters of rain a year and has an average altitude of 2,300 meters. The seasons are extreme, with days of no light in the winter and daylight all through the hours during the summer. Few plant species thrive here on land due to the lack of soil. Only 0.04% of the continent has exposed soils. The soil that is there is usually very nutrient poor. A small food chain exists. With a lack of diversity, it basically consists of birds ranging from different types of penguins to petrel. 99% of the continent is ice and harsh for any species to thrive in. The warmer southern-facing shores provide a better environment to support a healthy ecosystem, starting with zooplankton and phytoplankton, then birds, fish, and sea mammals. Organisms in the Antarctic have learned to evolve to the harsh weather conditions as well as scarce and competitive food supplies. These evolutionary changes make them specially suited to the cold waters and extreme seasonality in the food supply of this marine environment. The Antarctic cod, along with the mackerel fish, contain antifreeze proteins in their bodies, allowing their bodily fluids to withstand freezing. Another fish, known as the ice fish, doesn't need hemoglobin because of the high amounts of DO found in cold waters. This fish has also evolved to be able to pump blood using less energy. This involves the viscosity of the blood. The blood is often clear and transparent. Warm-blooded animals like penguins continually evolve to grow more fat on the outer parts of their bodies. Thus, increasing thick layers of fat is used as an insulation to keep warm. The body shapes of penguins also reduces the surface-to-area ratio, causing less heat to be lost. Also, because penguins are often in the water, their coats are waterproof plumage. Penguins have also evolved and learned to huddle together in order to keep each other warm so they don't freeze to death. Animals such as whales and other seabirds migrate to the south during the winter in order to breed, and then they go back north during the summers. Probably the most important keystone species in Antarctica is the krill. Krill are the engines that power the Antarctic ecosystem. Krill are unusual in that they are so abundant and large when compared to other phytoplankton feeders in other oceans. Because of this, large animals such as penguins, whales, and birds can feed on them, which means that these larger animals can tap the food chain close to the production of phytoplankton before a lot of energy is lost. Usually it takes 3 or 4 steps in a food pyramid for the krill to be that large compared to their prey. Many Antarctic species have been taken close to extinction for economic benefit, while others have been killed or disturbed. Soils have been contaminated, untreated sewage has been discharged into the sea, and there's rubbish that will not decompose or break down that is left behind. Besides this, oil spills pose a huge threat to Antarctica. Antarctica is covered by 2 ice sheets. The larger East Antarctic ice sheet covers the majority of the continent, while the West ice sheet has significant ice shelves floating to the ocean. They contain about 90% of the Earth's ice and 70% of its fresh water, and contain enough water to raise sea level by around 200 feet if they were to melt completely. If the ice were to melt, you could also lose animals. The emperor penguin population has already declined by 50%. Researchers who studied emperor penguins in Terra del Antarctica estimated by the end of the century the population will decline from 6,000 breeding pairs to an expected 400 breeding pairs. 99.5% of Antarctica is covered by a thick layer of ice. This leaves only about 0.4% of exposed soil on a continent that is 1/12 the size of the entire world. The soil is very low in nutrients here. It is covered by a hard pavement and a seasonal thawed active layer of permafrost. The pavement layer is made of gravel, stones, or boulders, weathered mostly by the wind. The soil that is found here is low in nutrients, in carbon and nitrogen, and lacks clay. The layer under the pavement, when not frozen, is very loose and unconsolidated. These harsh conditions here don't allow for many plant species to successfully colonize and thrive in the Antarctic tundra.